Did Penelope cheat on Odysseus? The truth explained. Warning! This video contains spoilers for Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey, along with discussion of Homer's Odyssey and Greek mythology. If you're avoiding spoilers, this is your warning. Now, let's explain. After 20 long years, one question has followed Penelope for thousands of years. Did she remain faithful to Odysseus? Or did she eventually fall in love with someone else? It's a question that continues to spark debate among readers, mythology fans, and now audiences watching Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey. At first glance, the rumors almost seem believable. Odysseus was gone for 20 years. No letters, no message, no proof that he was even alive. Meanwhile, over 100 powerful suitors filled his palace, hoping Penelope would choose one of them as her new husband. Every single day they pressured her. Every single day they reminded her that Odysseus was probably dead. So did Penelope finally give in? Did she secretly betray the man she had spent 2 decades waiting for? Or is the truth completely different? The answer might surprise you. Let's explain why people think Penelope cheated. The biggest reason this question exists is simple. 20 years is an incredibly long time. Odysseus spent 10 years fighting in the Trojan War, then another 10 years trying to return home. For everyone in Ithaca, he had simply disappeared. Most people assumed he was dead. Even Telemachus, who had never truly known his father, sometimes struggled to believe he would ever come back. If almost the entire kingdom believed Odysseus was gone forever, wouldn't it have been reasonable for Penelope to move on? That question has fascinated audiences for centuries, but Homer's answer is surprisingly clear. The suitors never stopped trying. While Odysseus struggled across the seas, Penelope faced a different battle at home. More than 100 noblemen arrived at the palace. Officially, they wanted to marry her. In reality, they wanted Odysseus's throne. Whoever became Penelope's husband would almost certainly become the next king of Ithaca. The suitors moved into the palace. They ate Odysseus's food, drank his wine, spent his wealth, and constantly demanded that Penelope make a choice. Some became violent. Others insulted Telemachus. Several even plotted to kill him. Despite all this pressure, Penelope refused to marry any of them. The famous weaving trick. One of the smartest moments in the Odyssey shows exactly how determined Penelope was. When the suitors demanded an answer, she made a promise. She said she would choose a husband only after finishing a burial shroud for Odysseus's elderly father Laertes. The suitors agreed. Every day, Penelope sat at her loom and carefully wove the cloth. But every night, after everyone had gone to sleep, she secretly unraveled everything she had woven during the day. She repeated this deception for 3 years. The cloth never became larger. Her decision never became closer. She wasn't preparing for another marriage. She was buying time because she still believed Odysseus might return. Eventually, one of her servants revealed the secret, and the suitors realized they had been deceived. Even then, Penelope still refused to choose another husband. Did Penelope ever love one of the suitors? According to Homer's Odyssey, the answer is no. Not once does Homer suggest that Penelope falls in love with any of the men living in her palace. In fact, she often avoids them whenever possible. She speaks to them only when necessary. She repeatedly delays making any decision. Everything she does points toward one goal: protecting Odysseus's kingdom until he returns. That doesn't mean her life was easy. She cried. She doubted. She felt lonely. There were moments when even she wondered if her husband was still alive. But uncertainty is very different from betrayal. What about Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey? Christopher Nolan's adaptation places even greater emotional emphasis on Penelope's loyalty. One of the film's most unforgettable moments comes during a conversation with Telemachus. He asks his mother a painful question. Do you want peace? Or do you want revenge? After everything she has suffered, most people would expect one of those answers. Instead, Penelope quietly replies, I want Odysseus. That single line tells audiences everything they need to know. She doesn't want revenge against the suitors. She doesn't simply want peace. She wants the man she has loved for 20 years. The scene beautifully reinforces what Homer wrote thousands of years ago. Penelope never stopped waiting. Was Odysseus faithful? Ironically, this is where the story becomes much more complicated. While Penelope remained in Ithaca, Odysseus spent years away from home. During his journey, he stayed with Circe. Later, he remained on Calypso's island for several years. Ancient Greek mythology presents these relationships very differently from modern expectations. Some versions portray Odysseus as being held against his will by Calypso. Others emphasize that the gods often controlled the choices of mortals. Either way, Homer consistently portrays Odysseus as longing to return to Penelope. Even while trapped far from home, his greatest desire was always to reach Ithaca again. Why Penelope never gave up? Many people assume Penelope waited because she had no other choice. But that's not true. She had countless opportunities to remarry. Doing so would have made her life much easier. The pressure from the suitors would have ended. The political crisis would have disappeared. Instead, she deliberately chose the harder path. Why? Because she believed that loyalty meant remaining true to the promises she had made. Whether Odysseus returned tomorrow or never returned at all, Penelope refused to let others decide the future of her marriage. That determination makes her one of the strongest characters in Greek mythology. She defeats her enemies not with weapons, but with patience, intelligence, and unwavering hope. The test of the bed. When Odysseus finally returns to Ithaca disguised as a beggar, Penelope doesn't immediately embrace him. She needs proof. After 20 years, anyone could pretend to be her husband. So she devises one final test. She orders a servant to move their marriage bed. Odysseus immediately objects. He explains that the bed cannot be moved because he built it himself around the trunk of a living olive tree rooted deep in the palace floor. Only the real Odysseus could know that secret. At that moment, Penelope realizes the truth. Her husband has finally come home. It's one of the most touching reunions in all of literature because it isn't based on appearance. It's built on trust and shared memories. Why this question still matters. So why do people still ask whether Penelope cheated? Perhaps because 20 years seems impossible. Modern audiences struggle to imagine waiting that long without certainty. But that's exactly what makes Penelope extraordinary. She represents hope in its purest form. Not blind hope, patient hope, the kind that survives uncertainty, loneliness, and endless temptation. Her story isn't about choosing another man. It's about refusing to abandon the one she already chose. So, did Penelope cheat on Odysseus? According to Homer's Odyssey, the answer is no. Despite 20 years of separation, constant pressure from more than 100 suitors, and endless uncertainty, Penelope remained faithful to her husband. She delayed remarriage with remarkable intelligence, protected Ithaca as long as she could, and when Odysseus finally returned, she welcomed him only after proving his true identity. That unwavering loyalty is one reason Penelope remains one of the most admired women in all of Greek mythology. Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey captures that devotion beautifully, especially in the unforgettable moment when Penelope tells Telemachus, "I want Odysseus." Those 3 words reveal everything about her heart. What do you think? Could anyone realistically wait 20 years for someone they loved? Or is Penelope's loyalty what makes her one of mythology's greatest heroes? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more The Odyssey explainers, Greek mythology stories, movie breakdowns, and hidden details. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.